Okay, I'm really excited to work with everybody here. Who's going to be our first person to play?
Our first is Clayton Nolen, and he's playing Moonlight Sonata.
Cool.
First movement, original score.
Cool. All right. What's going on, Sir Clayton?
Yes, Sam.
James, yeah. So you're going to play the Moonlight Sonata, the first movement?
Yes.
Cool. Do you want to do it from memory, or you want to do it with the music?
You can just hold this.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, this is cool. I'm excited. great. That's a great favorite that everybody likes. It's a really, really beautiful piece. It's one of my favorites too. I like that a lot. Thank you very much. It's really great. Oh my gosh, Beethoven. What do you know about Beethoven?
During my lessons, I was watching a documentary on Beethoven, and his father was not very nice to him, and he started learning from him. He ended up living in one of his friends' house, and he taught her how to play, and then he played in a church, and then ended up in Germany, and ended up becoming really famous, and then got really sick and died.
Yeah. So, what do you think? When do you think Beethoven wrote this piece? Did you do any research about it? Look it up on Google or anything?
No, not really. I'm guessing about when he was in his young 20s.
Yeah, Beethoven. I believe Beethoven. He was younger than I was. He was 19 or 20 at the time when he wrote this, which is ridiculous. Like, makes me wonder what I'm doing with my life. Like, what am I doing with my life? The opus numbers in music, if you look at the top of the titles in music, they usually have a title. They'll say sonata and whatever key it's in, and right beneath it, they'll say OP, which means opus number. It's kind of how they're like live categorize everything, and they made it like a library way for everything. You can tell what points of life that where like periods where he was based on the opus number, because that's usually the number of works that he wrote. So this is opus 27. So he was close to her in his early 20s when he probably wrote this. He's early. It's just pretty early. It's just still really early music, Beethoven. The biggest thing that Beethoven, what's the most famous thing that people know about Beethoven? That he was
his symphonies.
His symphonies, but or like what about him? Like he was, like, what do other people know about Beethoven? That he was what? That he was he blind?
He was deaf.
He was deaf. That's most people have famous to know that Beethoven was deaf. Beethoven. Now the big thing that most people don't know about Beethoven wasn't deaf until the end of his life. Like he can hear. Well, he had hearing problems throughout most of his life, but there's been a lot of speculation on like when he started losing, how he started losing his hearing. But Beethoven could hear for the most part of his life, and until the end of his life, when he was already just before he was starting to die, like 10 years before he started to die. So Beethoven wasn't, like the big, mean, old person, angry person that most people portray him as, especially when he wrote these types of pieces. And it's very, very beautiful and very romantic, like really, really, really romantic. And so he was a really, really young guy when he started to write this. You did a really, really great job at memorizing this. I'm really impressed. How old are you?
I'm 10.
10. Man, you're memorizing this 10. I don't think I looked at this. I was a teenager. This is great. It's really, really great. What do you know about the key of music? Like, what key is this in? Do you know?
Well, this is in C sharp minor.
C sharp minor. Can you play a C sharp minor chord for us? Just a cool chord. That's great. Yeah, that's what we call the scale. That's a C sharp minor scale. That's what every single note that's typically used in this key. But can you play a chord? You know what a chord is? Like, yeah. It's 3 notes. Do you know what's 3 notes? There you go, C sharp minor. That's the whole chord. And the writing style, I want to talk a little bit just about the writing style of this before we go into, I'm going to work with him and a few things. The writing style of this is so great because most people think that it's so hard to write a big, fantastic work in music. This is one of the most easiest composed pieces that you can actually find, because this whole piece is just based on those 3 notes. You have C sharp, E, and G sharp. That's basically the whole thing. Like, it's kind of like most people say, like there's 3 songs in a country song to make a hit nowadays. That's kind of what Beethoven did back then. Like, these 3 notes, it was fantastic. And the cool thing about those 3 notes, you can take it and do it, and like from very low ends of the piano all the way up here. And that's all this is. And he takes it and he breaks it up. So now you have, and he's doing it in a different position. So now what you have is, and that's the whole song. And he just takes it based on those chords and it breaks them up. All of this is just sets of 3 notes, just broken up. It's really great. But this is one of the most easier pieces that he wrote. A lot of his pieces when he was this age was written this way. The older he got, the more difficult, crazier, more like multiple lines and things were going on and stuff. But this is great. You play this really, really well. This is nice. I like what you're doing. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever played on a real piano before, like a big grand piano before?
Yes.
Have you had a chance to?
You see, there's a sale at Dollarhides. Yeah. So we ended up getting the last piano they had there.
Did you really? I'm
Yes.
jealous. I love that place. I'm jealous.
Yeah, they went out of business. So no, the owners retired.
Yeah, retired. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we got
Dollarhides are great.
a grant
They're great.
there.
They're great friends of mine too. I like them.
Really pretty local.
I like them. So what the next question I want to ask you is what dynamic level or what volume level do you think this should be? Should this be really quiet? Do you think this is a quiet type kind of piece,
quiet,
or and it has moments that it gets really exciting and loud, though, right?
With the really big chords in here.
Yeah, the big parts in the middle. The biggest thing that most people find, like when they have like pieces that are really, really quiet, they think that they have to play it like really itty bitty quiet. But if you take it into terms of the practice, like if you play this I mean, this is a really great setup. I'm not saying that this is bad. This isn't bad. But if you were trying to play this at a concert somewhere on a real piano, an acoustic piano, and you try to play like itty bitty person like a mouse, and like the person that's way in the back of the hall is not going to hear you. So from what most people think that you have to follow the certain dynamics that are on the page, you try to follow it to it, but you want to be able to still be heard by someone that's really far away. So you don't have to be so concerned about playing everything. It says piano, I have to play it quiet, but it's not gonna really do the piece justice, because you can play piano, you can play quiet, but you can also, and it's also more of an effect kind of thing. So you can be really quiet and still have it move a little bit. No more than that. So it's really, really great. Yeah, you're doing a really, really great job at that. There's a couple other things I wanted to ask you and see you. Can you make a whole octave with your left hand?
Yes, I can.
You can? Yeah, what about your right hand? How far can you stretch?
I cannot do a ninth note at all.
Okay. I saw, you're just substituting. Yeah, that's really nice.
I was moving my left hand to my right hand because it turns out whenever there's a ninth note, there's nothing on the left hand. I can just use the pedal and keep the sound on the left hand without having to play this. Which is a big stretch.
Cool. That's really, really cool. Another thing I wanted to ask you, have you ever experimented with the other pedals on the piano before?
Yeah, but they don't really work that well on electric piano. This is a quiet pedal.
Oh, you can hear, there is a little difference though if you notice, if you try it. Well, if you have to play, it's not going to tell at one note, but if you have multiple notes there, just try it and see, you can hear the difference, a little bit. So you want to use the other pedal too with this piece, so try using there you go, try using that pedal with it too. I can actually tell a difference. Let me show you. Yeah, so you can just keep your foot tampered on down, and what it does is just changes the color to it a little bit. That's what we call it, the soft pedal. It's mostly just a color thing. But if you listen carefully, without it, this is what it sounds like. So now I'm gonna add it. You hear that? There you go. You just gotta keep it down. It's not like you're different and you're just parking your foot on it. You don't have to do anything else with it. So I'm just encouraging, try it sometime. It adds a little bit of color to it. If you're listening carefully enough, you'll notice it a little bit. This is without the soft pedal. This is with it. This adds a little color to it.
Yeah, I can kind of hear the difference.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
This angle where I have those sounds.
Yeah. So you can see. Yeah. Can you just start it and try it? Just try it to see what happens. There you go.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Cool. Keep going. I want to ask you another question. Have you tried practicing these, all sets of these notes together as a chord before? Have you ever tried that before?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Scott has actually had me do that.
Yeah, that helps you.
Yeah.
Does that help you memorize it a little bit faster, easier to know what comes?
Not really. Just help me get the reaching down.
Get the scratching down, yeah. I wanted to encourage you to do that a lot more with that, and so that way it helps build it. It helps you learn things a lot easier, so you don't have to spend as much time as because you know these are all just broken. You know, you spend enough time practicing. You know, it's just going to be bump. Those are each of those little triplet things. They're going to be there forever. But what you can do to help you like practice this a little bit more efficiently, you can just spend time just playing nothing but the chords, just having that layer down with it. So can you just do that for a couple times? So I want you to try to play like just the chords, like with the left hand. See if you can try it. Just play the chords, yeah. At the same speed, but what I want you to do is to try to get this line more in your head too. It helps with your memory, so you don't have to play every single last one. You can just do it to where you have something different. So you have this whole measure, and then you have that happens. So you can just do this. You don't have to do just this much. That's all you have to do. So you know this is one part, and then your chance changes here. And you don't have to play every last one of those. And then so you have that chord there, and this one. And then this one comes next. And then that. And then it changes a lot here in the right. And you're back to there. Yeah, that's really, really great. It's good practice doing that. Another thing I want to ask you, how often have you played this from backwards? Have you ever tried playing this from the end and starting to the beginning?
No, I have never tried that.
Yeah. Oh no, it's great. I'm curious and wondering how I almost want to know see how well you actually know the piece. Because most people, it's kind of like watching the movie. Like most people know like every single line, and there's always a part that you don't know. So I encourage you people. Like I'm always encouraging these dudes to start from the end and play every single line from this one and this one and then this one and this one. Go backwards. So can you just start at this last line right here?
Just here.
This line right here. Yeah, from here.
Start here or there?
No, this one. No, when I say play it backwards, I don't mean to play every single measure backwards. I mean to play each line backwards. Like you play from here to here, and then you're here to here, then here to here. Then you go back and add it all together. So just see if you can play just this line.
Just this here.
Yeah, with both hands. Yeah, both hands from this line.
I don't know.
Try it. Yeah, just give it a try. So you have all this, right? You have this part. Yeah.
I'll have to play forwards first.
Yeah, okay, that's what I mean. Yeah, play it forwards, but from here. But yeah, there you go. That's what I mean.
I would definitely have to play that forwards or back.
There you go. Yeah, that's what I mean. Play it forwards. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah, and you have two chords at the end. Yeah.
So what about just the measure backwards, not the entire line?
Yeah, I mean the whole line from here to there, but like you're starting at the end of the piece, though. That's what I mean.
I start here. Where do you want me to start?
Oh no, I mean when I'm saying when I say play a piece backwards, I'm not asking you to play this measure just by and that one. So what I mean is this line, you start this whole line that way, like you normally read it that way, and then you're gonna go from that one. And then you go to that one. Then when you come back to it, you'll play it all the way from the top of the page.
Makes a lot more sense.
There you go. Yeah, I'm not meaning to play. I can't even do that.
I
Play. We're gonna reverse the Snapchat feature that goes backwards. Very good. Now can you play it from? Now can you start here? Go to the end. Keep going, yeah.
Yeah, so.
yeah. So you would keep. So when you get to there, you're gonna keep going. You're gonna add it like you would normally add the rest of the music.
Yeah.
So what this does is it helps you train you to know like what helps you train what what actually the piece is. Just be surprised at how many times you play a piece from the beginning to the end, and that you have it learned that way, but you don't really know it the other way, and you're completely like confused. There's so many different layers of learning music and different ways of practicing it. And so I encourage you to like just take your time. It's like, okay, today I'm only gonna play from here to here, and then from here to there, and then work yourself. Turn the page backwards and go that way and stuff. Because a lot of times what happens is that we know like this part really well, but when we get to the end, like it's the most difficult part, and then we kind of just skip over a little bit. Another way I like to encourage you to practice, can you just play, how often do you play just hands alone?
Like just practice?
Right hand and then left hand by itself.
I only did that when I didn't know the piece completely well.
Yeah,
I did that when I started learning the piece, but not now.
Yeah, so let's go back a little bit. Let's just keep working on, let's go to the end or somewhere, and we find a good spot to start.
But sometimes when I'm messing around, I just do it.
Can you play from here just the right hand part?
From here to
Yeah.
the end?
Well, yeah, we're not going to go to the end, but we're just going to start here. Just play the right hand. You can play it slow. You don't have to play this fast. Like you can just take your time and play slow.
About where this is. This should
Yeah.
be, let me just take a. No, that's not right. I don't feel like that's right. No.
Do you have a C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and E? So it'll be. There you go. And it goes to A.
This is A now.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
No, this is not like it's not. You're not doing anything wrong or anything at all. It's just you'd be surprised. Like I know this piece really well until you go to the third page and it's like it's hard. Yeah.
I get it.
Cool, you got it. Okay, now what about the left hand? Just the left hand one. Just left hand by itself.
I do that all the time actually with the left hand.
Do you? Okay, that's good. That's great.
Yeah, so I can do like this with my eyes closed in the left hand at the beginning. But not here in this point.
Yeah, just try it. Yeah, just play this the left hand.
That's not right.
So from here, yeah, you have a C sharp, right? And then, which one is that?
That's an
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're getting it. You're getting it. So yeah, C sharp, F sharp, good. B, and then E. Here, E. Yeah. Yeah. So So there's nothing. Yeah. So what I want to tell you, there's nothing wrong with taking your time and learning. And even though you know the piece really well, to go back and learn and relearn like what hand is doing what, and because that's gonna help. Like when you get ready to put it back together, you've already practiced with knowing what this part is. Yeah. So take some time and just learn. And to really like know like what hand is doing what, and just take your time doing that. Like you don't have to play every single note super fast like as the tempo you need to, and so just take your time learning every single note. So that way it helps you when you have to play it from memory. You'll know in and out like which way it happens, and just the same way when you do it without the music. So I encourage you to do that with it, and then so if I take away the music, can you play just the right hand part without the music?
From the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning anywhere. Yeah. Okay, so what if somebody asks you to play the end without?
I can do that. I mean, with most, if I find like a starting point where there's like an area that I remember super well, I can start there and then I can just keep going.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's great. So that's what I want to encourage you to do.
I can make that every spot. I want to do it from the end.
Let's talk about speed. How are we on time? Like I don't want to. 5 Okay.
About 2-3 more minutes.
Okay, let's talk about speed really quick. Have you listened to other people play this before?
I have.
Yeah. Do you think it should be like is the speed that you play is the speed that you feel most comfortable with?
I think it starts slow, gets a little faster, and then gets slower again.
Good. Yeah, it's good. I want to encourage you to like, depending on like your like how much energy you have, like to experiment with it. Like you don't have to play it the same exact way every single time. It's never going to come out the same way. Like every time you play something or perform something, it's always going to be different every single time. But I encourage you to listen to other people play it, and then based on whatever your ideas are, that's how you do it. You don't have to sit yourself into playing and like these sonatas and stuff. Some of these pieces are more like character pieces. They don't have to be, they don't have to be like exactly like everybody else is out there. So I encourage you to like take your time and to be able to play it slow, because it doesn't have to be that fast of a piece, or it has to be really slow. So can you start it again, but can you just play it a tad bit slower?
Yeah, you see, sometimes when I'm like trying to get something,
Yeah.
I should do it fast.
Do it slow, yeah. You just
Like,
yeah.
I recorded it once, and my slowest time was like 7 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah. Mhm. So that's a good obvious tempo. You can play it really well. It's simple, yeah. So can you do that same speed and keep it when it gets to the more difficult spots?
Like here, like around. I'll show you a really hard spot. Here.
Yeah, can you play it that slow at one of these harder spots?
Yeah, I'll start right
Here, yeah. I want you to come back and stop for a second. Yeah, this is great. You're doing really great. This is great. But can you play it even slower than that, making sure that you land every single note? This is really tedious practice, and it takes forever to get the way through it, but it'll make sure that you can actually like accurately. You can like play it accurately every time.
Okay.
Go even slower than that. Even slower. So be sharp. There you go. That's great. It's good. All right, that's good. So every single note was there, right? So now what you have to do is that you know that you can play it perfectly at that speed, and so now you have to build yourself from that exact speed. You can't. I don't want to encourage you not to play it any faster than that until you play every single note that's right that fast, and then you slowly build yourself up. Whether you spend like a whole do you practice this with a metronome sometimes, like play every single note with a metronome?
I've tried sometimes.
It's
hard to do.
It's hard to do. It's annoying. I know.
Yeah.
God, like metronomes are like it's like ingrained in me. Like all day, I'm sitting in the room. It was tick 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 like all day, all day, most of the night. But I encourage you to do that so that way you can keep like building off it. So let's say you'll stay in. You spend 1 week just playing every single note like at 90, and then the next day you'll go to 95, and the next day you'll do 100, and you won't go any further than 100 for like a good week. You'll just stay there until you can play it very, very slow, and then then gradually build the speed up. Because that's going to stay ingrained in you that's going to stay ingrained like in you forever. This is really, really great. Have you looked at the other two movements?
I'm starting on I'm about a quarter through the second movement right now.
Yeah, the one that goes. Yeah, and of course you know the third. Is that your favorite one?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah? You got the music? Here, I'll play a little bit of it for you. Here, I'll play a little bit of it. That's everybody's favorite. I'll play a little bit of it for you.
I only have the first page.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great one. Yeah, come here. Come closer. Yeah, you guys see. Yeah, this is everybody's favorite. long time since I played it. A long time. But that's a great one. And then it's a great one, yeah. Even though the same thing as what I was telling you is going to apply whenever you get to this. These whole notes, if you combine them, it's just going to make a chord. Okay? See that? Just like the first movement. And then you practice it that way. And once you figure that out, it's going to become 1,000 times easier. If you look at this page, if you look at this and you see all those notes, it's going to drive you crazy. But if you put it together like the way that I was showing him earlier, if you just put together like blocks, it's going to make your life 1,000 times easier. And it's going to it'll cut down learning like a lot. You won't have to spend all year learning. You'll spend a lot of time practicing, but you won't have to spend 10 hours learning it, because all you got to do is, these chords, that's all this is the same 3 notes, but here in this position. That's it. That's it. This is great, man. I can't wait for you to get there. And then the second movement is really beautiful, too. Like, it has like that little jazzy walk kind of thing going on. I like this one a lot. It's been a long time since I played this. It's really, really great. I really like this one, too. It's great. That's great, man. And then eventually you'll be able to play all 3 of them together, like one simultaneous thing. It'd be great. This is great. Thank you so much, man.
Send you the video, James. We'll send you the video.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.